So as we start to head outdoors and spend more time, like we're eating dinner on the back deck, we were enjoying. I took a nap on the back patio. I'm out. I'm reading the newspaper in the front courtyard. As we are outside, I think we start to realize I'm not as I'm more exposed than I thought I was. The neighbors are out there doing their laundry or sipping coffee, looking through their bay windows at me napping on the back patio in the hot tub. I'm hearing quite a few folks bought a new RV or have a trash pile their neighbor piled up against theirs where they get to see it. Privacy. Privacy becomes a more desired as we're outdoors more. And so I thought I'd spend a moment on how to plant a thicker, better, more private screen. So the least expensive way to block things is with plants. You can do a fence. Yeah, that's the most expensive. Block walls, panels. So some of your HOAs won't even allow you to do that, but you need to do it with plants. And so evergreens are what people think of. They're thinking green wall mainly, but I would say with a natural garden, we mainly have more informal designs here. We're trying to blend our landscape into the forest and make it look more natural, like our house is plopped in the middle of this forest. So there, if you just plant a row of, let's say, red tip photinia, number one seller. This is a great big shrub. Gets 10 by 10 by 10, if not bigger, solid, thick, waxy leafed type of hedge. We hedge them every once in a while, make them into walls, but that's a formal garden. You have one great big wall that's like you look over that going, what are they trying to hide? What's going on over there? Oh my gosh, it's got to be offensive. So a more natural way is to blend plants together, to have some, let's say, a pine tree and some red tip photinias and maybe even an aspen in there that's deciduous. So I want it private while I'm in the backyard, but when it's cold out, I don't care as much. I just want to see nice white bark out there and the structure of an aspen or a maple. You can blend the two together. And so your fastest growing of all plants are going to be the deciduous shade type trees. They grow 3, 4, 5 feet a year. If you look at a maple or a sycamore or cottonwood or willow, these things grow fast. An evergreen never dreamed of growing that fast. So junipers are much more methodical. They're much more natural. They blend in. Of course, we're surrounded by natural pine and juniper forests. And so you want to probably introduce some of those so it looks more natural. And so I tell folks, how long is the run that we're trying to block? So is it 5 feet, 10 feet, 100 feet, the entire property line? Or is it just a strategic thing? So I'll try to put a great big evergreen, a big spruce, a large pine tree, a deodar cedar, Arizona cypress is number one selling of all of the privacy screens. Arizona cypress. It sort of has a juniper look, but it gets bigger. So it goes 25 by 12 foot wide. Nice, kind of silver blue color to it. Very fast grower, and it's thick. You're not going to see it. We use it out in the valley areas to block wind, to hide some of that vistas that maybe your neighbor's not as clean as you are. I don't really want to see their corral and the cowboys wrestling whatever over there. I want to feel more private. And so there we use Arizona cypress. It grows at all elevations from the Cottonwood Sedona all the way up to the highest elevations of Groom Creek, Highland Pines, Williams, Ash Fork. It'll take the wind, the sun. It's number one seller for the bigger types of tree type of evergreens. I'll take a big one of those and plop it right where the most egregious sightline is. So if you're trying to make your landscape dollars spread out, put your money into at least one big one established. Don't wait for it to grow. I want it 8, 10 feet right now in the ground. I can wait for the other ones to grow up later. So I'll plant smaller ones where it's not as important, and I'll plant the big one, one or two where I want it blocked right now. I'm not waiting. That's a way to stretch out your landscape dollars. We have an entire privacy screen area. It's mainly the upright evergreens. So there's upright evergreens. This is mainly, they've got a central trunk. They're Hollywood junipers. They're Spartan junipers. They're Arizona cypress. They're pine trees like Austrian pine, the fastest growing of all the pine trees. There's deodar cedars, the fastest growing of all the cedars. There's all Italian cypress. A lot of folks know that from California down the valley. It grows up here too. And so those are upright evergreens. And then we have evergreen shrubs. These are Elaeagnus or silverberry, red tip botania, cotoneasis, euonymus. There's a whole series of them that are shrubs. They're multi-stemmed, big, and we hedge them often close to the wall or close to the property line, close to, we'll kind of make them a more formal, like living wall, living fence. So those are the two main ones. But I say strategically put some deciduous plants. These are plants that lose their leaves in the winter, mainly because they grow so fast, especially if you need to get tall quick. Let's say you're on a second-story deck and you want to screen out that neighbor you're looking down on. You want it bigger now. Well, it could take 5, 7, 10 years before a pine tree or a juniper gets that big. But a maple might do it in 2 or 3. Or maybe if you can get them so big, you can get them like right now. And so I'll plop one of those in because they grow so fast. And you can strategically blend the things together. And this is what we do at the garden center all day long is, take a picture so we can see what the vista is that you want to block. See that neighbor, that shed, that huge Class A RV they're so proud of, but you really don't want to see for the, the every week of the year except for the 2 that they use it. So let's block that thing out. What I can't tell with the picture is how long is it? So take a quick measure, walk it off. Doesn't have to be exact. Let me know, is it 20 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet, 100 feet? So I know strategically how many plants are we going to need to plop in there. The other one is think in terms of zigzag or triangular shapes. So don't think of a wall, a line. Many times we'll plop a line of plants and it looks like they're soldiers marching across the yard. That doesn't look as natural. It's better to put them strategically off center them. So think a back row, front row and plant in between the back row. And so think in terms of zigzag or zipper like. It'll look way better for you. It'll look more natural and it will fill in faster. The other one is how many plants do I need? So as I'm trying to strategize with a client or a gardener, they want to block, so they want to highlight a vista. Let's say they're looking at Granite Mountain here in Prescott, but they want to block out the other stuff. So I'll try to think of picture frames and how do I block that and highlight this, draw the eye over here. As you're trying to block the other ones, as I'm designing that, you'll look at the width. You want to know how many. I want a wall of Wichita blue junipers, this fantastic silver looking thick juniper. How many do I need? Take whatever plant you're looking at and it says it grows, let's say it's a red clusterberry cotoneaster. It's a 10 by 10 by 10. It gets 10 foot wide. If you want it to be an overlapping pattern above head height, take that whatever width it is and divide it by 2 and that will be your planting pattern. So if it says 10 feet wide, plant them at 5 foot centers, and this thing will overlap well up into the height, well above head height, and give you a solid wall of green. So it's a real quick math thing that can help you go, how many do I need? I just don't know. Well, if it says it gets 12 feet, go with 6 feet. You're doing Arizona cypress. If it's a smaller thing, it only gets, let's say you're doing Italian cypress, they only get 6 feet. You want to plant them every 3 feet. That's real quick math, how many? And then if you need help, this can get complicated. Come talk to an expert. This is where you rely on your garden centers and the expertise. This is what the team does all day long here at the garden center. Ask for help. All right, we got more right after this. That's how you plant a secret garden in your backyard. But we got to cover a couple bills here with some ads. Be right back right after this.